Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CCISO Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. Financial management is a core competency for modern CISOs. Managing cybersecurity in large enterprises requires more than selecting the right technologies or defining strong policies. It requires the ability to allocate financial resources in a way that maximizes risk reduction, aligns with strategic priorities, and maintains executive trust. Without financial fluency, security leaders may struggle to justify spending, prioritize initiatives, or respond to questions from boards and audit committees. Proper financial management supports transparency, accountability, and operational efficiency. It also allows CISOs to make credible business cases for investment in security capabilities, enabling long-term planning rather than reactive decision-making. When CISOs understand the financial dimensions of security leadership, they can influence strategy, shape governance, and demonstrate value to the business. The CISO's financial responsibilities include developing and managing both operational and capital security budgets. Operational expenses, or OpEx, cover recurring costs such as staffing, licensing, and subscriptions. Capital expenditures, or CapEx, represent long-term investments like hardware, infrastructure, or multi-year tooling platforms. Forecasting and adjusting these budgets over time requires close monitoring of spend, evolving threat conditions, and shifting enterprise priorities. The CISO must evaluate the total cost of tools, services, and controls, not only initial costs but also support, updates, and eventual decommissioning. During executive reviews, the CISO must be prepared to explain, defend, and refine security financial plans. This includes demonstrating how each investment supports strategic outcomes and providing options for trade-offs when funding is limited. The CISO is accountable for cost performance and must ensure that budget decisions are aligned with enterprise goals and risk tolerance. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Understanding budget structures is essential for managing security finances effectively. Capital expenditures are often subject to approval processes and amortization, making it important to plan timing and justification carefully. Operating expenses, which recur annually or monthly, must be forecasted to accommodate renewals, staffing increases, or expanded licensing. Security leaders must also distinguish between direct costs, those tied explicitly to the security function, and indirect costs, which may be shared with IT, compliance, or legal. Fixed costs, such as salaries, remain stable regardless of usage, while variable costs, like incident response retainer hours or usage-based licensing, can fluctuate with activity. Financial documentation, including budget codes and spending reports, must follow organizational standards to ensure transparency and audit readiness. The CISO must work with finance teams to understand these classifications and use them in planning, reporting, and governance. Forecasting is a key part of financial management. CISOs use a combination of historical data, strategic roadmaps, and threat intelligence to anticipate future needs. Past expenditures, known vendor pricing, and compliance timelines provide a baseline for planning. Depreciation schedules for capital assets must be tracked, and license renewals should be accounted for in the appropriate periods. Vendor contracts often include escalation clauses which must be factored into future years. Security forecasting must also account for the unpredictable, breach expenditures, regulatory changes, or business shifts. For this reason, CISOs benefit from working closely with finance teams on scenario planning, developing best-case and worst-case financial projections. By aligning security forecasts with broader enterprise planning cycles, the CISO ensures that security remains visible and responsive within organizational budgeting processes. Justifying security investments requires the ability to perform cost-benefit analysis and demonstrate return on investment. Risk reduction is often the primary benefit and must be translated into quantifiable or at least explainable outcomes. Common models include annualized loss expectancy, which estimates expected losses from a risk, and total cost of ownership, which factors in acquisition, implementation, and maintenance costs. Return on investment may include reduced incident frequency, faster response, regulatory compliance, or avoidance of penalties. Security leaders should compare solution options by analyzing long-term sustainability, integration potential, and operational impact. Technical controls must be presented in business language, explaining how a new tool improves efficiency, reduces liability, or aligns with compliance mandates. In some cases, non-monetary benefits such as reputation protection or customer trust are key to the business case. The CISO must be prepared to communicate both tangible and intangible returns with clarity. Vendor cost evaluation is a recurring responsibility in most security programs. Beyond initial price, CISOs must evaluate total cost across the full contract lifecycle. This includes deployment complexity, training, ongoing support, upgrade paths, and potential exit costs. A lower-priced tool may have hidden expenses that emerge during integration or growth. Managed services must be weighed against in-house staffing options, considering factors such as flexibility, expertise, and long-term cost. Service-level agreements must reflect the organization's risk exposure, and penalties for missed performance should be enforceable. Vendor contracts should be negotiated for bundling discounts, multi-year savings, or joint training programs. Over time, vendor performance must be reviewed regularly to confirm value realization. The CISO ensures that vendor evaluations include financial, functional, and strategic criteria, not just cost. Metrics play a crucial role in demonstrating financial performance. Key metrics include actual spend compared to forecast, realized ROI from initiatives, and cost per incident improvements. Financial reporting should be tied to operational performance, highlighting how investments reduced response time, improved audit results, or supported compliance. Dashboards that show budget utilization, cost variance, and forecast adjustments help executives understand how funds are used and whether they deliver value. Identifying cost drivers, such as rapidly expanding cloud workloads or rising licensing fees, helps plan for future needs and avoid surprises. Accurate, timely reporting also supports audit readiness and helps frame future investment requests. The CISO must ensure that financial metrics are consistent, contextualized, and aligned with both security and enterprise dashboards. When financial constraints occur, trade-offs become necessary. The CISO must prioritize based on business risk, regulatory exposure, and value impact. Lower priority initiatives can be delayed, phased, or restructured to reduce near-term costs. Underperforming tools, overlapping services, or underutilized platforms can be retired or renegotiated. In some cases, it may be appropriate to accept a risk if controls are cost prohibitive, but such decisions must be documented, approved, and tracked. Sharing costs across departments, such as with IT, legal, or compliance, can stretch security budgets while reinforcing cross-functional ownership. Creative funding models, such as using cyber insurance rebates or reinvesting audit savings, can also help. The CISO must be able to explain the rationale for trade-offs and demonstrate that even with reduced funding, security is managed strategically and responsibly. Integrating financial management into governance processes ensures alignment with enterprise goals. GRC dashboards should include financial KPIs alongside risk and compliance metrics. Budget requests should tie directly to strategic plans, audit findings, or risk mitigation goals. Financial reviews should be part of roadmap updates, enabling reprioritization when needed. Security steering committees should include representation from finance to ensure shared visibility. Transparent financial discussions help executive leaders understand the value and necessity of security expenditures. The CISO plays a central role in ensuring that financial discussions are structured, fact-based, and aligned with governance expectations. Financial management appears on the SEA CISO exam in both terminology and scenario formats. Key terms include capital expenditures, operating expenses, total cost of ownership, return on investment, and annualized loss expectancy. Candidates may face questions about vendor evaluation, budget trade-offs, cost justification, or investment prioritization. The CISO is expected to demonstrate competence not just in managing funds but in integrating financial planning with strategy, compliance, and governance. Effective financial stewardship is a hallmark of a mature security program. By mastering these principles, CISOs ensure that cybersecurity is not just technically sound, but fiscally credible and aligned with enterprise success. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal CISO Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.